Hi Siri, I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions. Siri, is there such a show?
Have you heard of PodUp with Matthews in the morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Matthews has a show every weekday. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
Good morning, live edition of Matthews in the Morning coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida and right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go get you a diamond, International Diamond Center. Comfort Temp Heating and Air is your number one local HVAC company. Go visit them at comforttemp.com. Good show lineup today. We'll have Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com. And we'll have Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart. Talk a little Florida, Georgia. If you missed it last night, series is tied 2-2. Blue Jays can rake, man. They can hit the damn baseball. Let's go to the Tight Number Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We're joined by the man, Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com. Talk a little Gator hoops. Good morning, Chris. How you doing?
Morning, Shane.
Morning.
This 30-minute in advance kind of thing.
Yeah, I know.
Usually I'm an 8:30 guy.
Yeah, we had to bench JC for the day.
Okay.
Because I got Tony Barnhart coming on too. Just also give a shout out to Gator Men's Golf. They play today for the championship against the Virginia Cavaliers. They beat in a loser leave town or a loser get Lane Kiffin match yesterday. They beat the Ole Miss Rebels.
Are you upset about that?
That we beat Ole Miss?
With your Rebel ties,
No,
all your Rebel ties.
If
Shane.
we're playing Ole Miss, I root for us. If Ole Miss is
okay.
playing someone else, I root for Ole Miss. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, I get. I thought you said Virginia beat Ole Miss.
No, we beat Ole Miss yesterday for the rights to have Lane Kiffin be your head coach.
I get it. Okay, good.
Today we
Okay.
play Virginia for the championship.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
all right.
Mhm.
All right. So Chris, Gator basketball tips off Monday.
Mhm.
Y'all are heading out on Friday. Had to scrimmage against the Illinois Fighting Illini. Give us some thoughts from that scrimmage, what you liked.
Well, I liked a lot. What I liked the most. I mean, first of all, it's down in Orlando. It's at the old what they used to call the RDV Sportsplex or Sports Complex, where it was called, where the Magic used to play. And it was in lockdown, and you're talking about two really good teams and two teams that really wanted to win, and it was very, very competitive in there, very, very loud between it got fiery. Florida got out to a 17-point first half lead and actually trailed by 6 with, I think, inside 6 to go. Came
Wow.
back and won by 10. Both teams were without significant contributors. The Petrovic kid who transferred from Cal did not play for Illinois. They had another player who was awaiting, an international player who was waiting eligibility. Florida was without Boogie Flan and Alex Lloyd. But again, a really, really, really good game. We got to see the Gators, without Boogie Flan, who was really, really good to scrimmage before against FIU. I mean, really good. Obviously, Illinois is a couple steps up in that regard relative to competition. But Xavier Lee had to take the point guard spot, and he answered a very subpar FIU scrimmage by playing great against the Illini. And it's just something that both teams, I think, really wanted, really needed. But it's funny, Florida's in its history has opened the season against a ranked team 6 times. Arizona's the number 13 team in the country. So this is a great opener for the Gators to see, just where they are. Obviously a loss out of the box doesn't hurt, doesn't do anything to you in college basketball, but you want to see where you are. And going out to Vegas, I would imagine it's probably going to be more Arizona fans than Florida fans.
I would guess so, yeah.
I would guess so, right. But yeah, I was surprised. Florida was very well represented in San Antonio, and I have to say in San Francisco too. So maybe I'll be surprised on that front. You know how Gator basketball fans like to jump on the bandwagon there. But it should be a great game. It's 4:00 in the afternoon, local Vegas time tip off, 7:00 Monday night. Arizona had a top 5 recruiting class. They start 2 freshmen that are probably one and dones. very competitive game, but Florida has the experience, but we haven't really seen, the elephant in the room is replacing three of the most popular and decorated players in Florida history in that backcourt. All three are in the NBA right now, so that's we'll see. We'll see. What are your questions about this team, Shane?
Well, speaking of that, MSRK on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Pump, says the backcourt going to measure up to last year's. I mean, time will tell. But would you say, from a recruiting stars standpoint, that this backcourt currently was rated higher than what we just lost?
Well, I think you have to, because I mean, Boogie McFlan was a McDonald's All-American, and and Florida hadn't signed a player, a McDonald's All-American, since 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So Xavier Lee probably wasn't a very highly recruited player, I don't think, out of Toronto, but he certainly turned himself into one. The whole narrative of the last year's Florida team, certainly in the building, was, the misfit toys, the underdogs, nobody wanted us, from the coaching staff all the way down to some of those players. They were all, again, no national championship team had ever won a game without a top 100 player. That has changed, yes, but that has nothing to do with the game Monday, obviously.
All right, so obviously Todd usually later in the season has X amount of players he likes to play in his rotation. It's not like we're starting with, those teams back in the day, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, in the O'Connell Center. It's Arizona.
Marathon Oil, remember that? Marathon Oil was another one.
Yeah. So what do you expect early on? How many players he plays? And I know it depends on how the game goes, things like that. But what's your expectations?
Correct. Okay, so I mentioned how Boogie Flan didn't play in that game, so we'll see where he is health-wise. I expect him to play. Alex Loy is another guy who sat out that scrimmage, but he's been full go this week. I just think, just going by Todd's track record, he'll play 9 guys, I think. But the goal is to get it to 8, if not like 7.5, by the time heading into postseason. It's just what he does. I mean, there's a slam dunk. 8 guys right now, when full go, are going to play. You got your 4 forwards, you got your 2 new transfers, and you got you got C.J. Ingram, you got Urban Klavzar. Klavzar's been really good in both scrimmages, by the way, I might add. With that 3-point shot of his, he's the best shooter on the team with that. So will he roll a couple guys? Will he roll Alex Lloyd maybe out there? Will he roll maybe Victor Mikic for a minute, try to steal a minute or a couple possessions or 2 with him? I don't know about that. Again, you're not playing North Florida. You're playing them a week from today, or a week. Yeah, it was a week from today. You're playing Arizona. You're going to try to win the game. That's a high quality Ken Palm win right out of the box. So right now, I anticipate it being like an 8.5-man rotation, with Alex Lloyd perhaps being that 9th guy.
And if Boogie Flan is good to go, we expect the starting lineup in the backcourt: Flan and Xavier Lee, and then our 3 big guys in the front court, with Houck playing the 3, correct?
Right, Thomas Houck playing the 3, and then with Micah obviously
coming off the bench,
a ton of minutes coming off as the first guy off the bench. Urban will be the first guard off the bench. C.J. Ingram played like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Let me see here. Played like 16 minutes in the Illinois game. They actually played the kid who transferred, and I haven't said his name enough. It's Kovachev, Alex Kovachev. They have 3 Alexes on this team, so you can't call any of them Alex. It's Kondo, it's AK was Kovachev, and who's my other Alex?
Condon.
No, I said Did I say Kondo? Yeah.
Is the Colo the fellow?
I get all my Alexes mixed up.
The fellow you keep talking about, is he number 8?
He's number 8. Came from Sacramento State.
Yeah,
Yes.
remember when I was at the practice with you, I asked, that's like, who's number 8? He's a pretty good
Yeah,
player.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, he actually got in the game against Illinois. He hit a three, made a cool hustle play on the floor. Alex Lloyd is the other guy. So they just call him Lloyd. So it's
Okay.
Kondo, Lloyd, and AK. They got to differentiate between the Alexes. So
So Chris, I was at that one of those practices with you there in
Mhm,
O'Connell Center, and you had mentioned the body change of Michael Hanlock,
mhm,
and you
mhm,
could tell it.
mhm.
Uh, did he look quicker getting up and down the floor, so to speak, against Illinois?
But yeah, I mean, and Illinois got some size too. Obviously, he's been great in both the scrimmages, Shane. He was outstanding. I think I think he had 8, 12, and 5 assists or something like that against FIU. And just looking at his little box score right here, you know, 7, 6, and 3 in 16 minutes. So really, really productive. Um, uh, just a year ago, he wasn't even playing, and now not only is he full go, he's in his best shape of his life. He's trimmed himself down. He's running spectacularly, and he has direction. He has focus. He knows what his role is going to be. He knows he's going to play a lot. Um, but obviously, the Florida, it's going to run. It's going to go how that front court goes. And like the point I made and the point you just made with Tommy moving out to that three, now you have just an elite rebounding team. What you're going to give away now, you got to make sure on misses if you don't get the offensive rebound, you got to get back in transition because maybe with three bigs you're not going to be as fast as you were before. Um,
Mhm.
but Tommy is probably the most conditioned athlete on the team, best conditioned athlete on the team. I don't the people that are talking about with any kind of a trepidation about him playing moving from the 4 to the 3, they're not they haven't been in the gym every day. And they must not have been paying attention last year during the NCAA tournament run because he looked the part of a wing back then, and I think that's obviously where he projects in the NBA down the line.
Cafe, proud to support Gator Nation for 22 years. New location opened in Alachua, new building, same great food served with a smile. Check them out at one of their 5 locations. That's Miapa Latin Cafe. We got Chris Harry here from FloridaGators.com. Chris, obviously we have a new offense and defensive coordinator. Um, you've seen one game, one scrimmage. Anything look different or everything rolling smoothly?
No, I think a lot of it's the same. I mean, they just different guys. I mean, I say different guys. There are really not that many different guys. I mean, it's 5 guys from that team last year, but yeah, I mean, that's one thing I really admire about Todd is that he has his system, and
Yeah.
he's sticking to his system. And I've mentioned this before. I mean, you have coaches that just play a certain way, and they're not getting away from that. That's what we saw with Bruce Pearl's Auburn team. You saw what you saw from Jim Boeheim all those years at Syracuse in that zone, and Tony Bennett the way he wanted to play pack line. They're not changing, and Todd wants to play 2 bigs at all time. Now, I say that we just talked about Tommy moving out to the 3, but his what he's doing out there will look a little bit differently because he's facing the basket more. He's going to be in the corner more. He's going to be doing what Will Richards was doing. He's just going to be a different player doing it. But they still, want to go side to side. They still want to bring those 2 bigs out and work at everything's going through. And when you watch, you were there, you at practice. They have such great energy during practice,
Yeah.
and he's real. He's a stickler for wanting to do things correctly, even when they're
He
running
gets
that
on their
dry
ass
dry.
when they ain't
He
playing
he
hard.
does. He
It's
he
that
does. He
simple.
does. He
I love
does.
it.
And they get going with their jumping around and stuff like that before practice even starts because he wants that energy to carry through stuff, even when they're running dry offense against no defensive players.
Uh, I started laughing because Justin says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, did Olivier get any minutes?
So, Olivier did not get any minutes. No, no,
Okay.
he did not get a minute. This was a competitive scrimmage, and Olivier is a walk-on. So
Yeah.
yes, he's still a walk-on. He is getting better. Like I think we mentioned this last time I was on. We may see him with the Rowdy Reptiles calling for him in some games, home games, and that kind of thing. But he is not ready to be in that rotation yet. No.
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law. Chris, is there a reason the Gators don't do preseason fan-attended charity games as some other schools do?
Todd doesn't want to do. Maybe that will change, but that's not something he wants to do. Let me go back to that Olivier question. I do have to just to make a point. Yesterday they were doing some stuff, and Olivier got the ball and down on the block, and it was some kind of it was a transit, not a transition drill, but some kind of defensive drill. And he got the ball on the block against Tommy, and Tommy like went up and he made the basket again. The ball like rolled in on Tommy, and everyone was jumping up and down because Olivier made a basket. Tommy looks at everyone. He goes, "He's 7'9". Like he's gonna make one sometime.
That's right.
Yeah.
This text wants to know, Chris, do you think your Skins are going to get their season turned around?
I don't. I just think that they have no like they're an older team now. He brought that 49er blueprint with them to sign old guys, and now they're all getting soft tissue injuries. It's really irritating. But obviously, unless Jaden Daniels is out there with some weapons, they lost their Laramie Tunzel the other day with some kind of, I don't know, it's a calf or a hamstring or a quad, whatever the old guy injury is this week. But no, I do not think, and I think they need to just start. You don't give up on the season. Obviously, there's a lot can happen. But 3-5, it just they're they're not healthy, and the schedule does not favor them right now because I get to think they got Seattle and Detroit at home coming up, and that's going to be two very difficult games.
Yeah.
I'll still watch them though.
Chris on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says, "Is Ruben hitting his free throws?" I know one thing Ruben's been doing is he's been in the gym. I I think
Yeah.
back when Patrick Young, he had that crazy
Mhm.
body when he
Yeah.
played. I think Ruben makes him look bad.
Well, Patrick Young body, I think, is definitely better than Ruben's, but Ruben is
You
bigger.
think?
Ruben is 6'11" and a half. Yeah, yeah. I mean, not believe me, I'm not dismissing Ruben, but is he making his free throws? Let me see here.
I'll tell you
In
what, when
two
I saw him in person
scrimmages,
up close, I was like, "Holy cow!"
correct. In two scrimmages, Ruben is 13 of 18 from the free throw line.
We'll take
Kondo needs
that.
to make his free throws. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kondo needs to make his free throws. I mean, Micah Hanlockton is. I mean, he really needs help at the free throw line. So that's something that you need to pay attention to a little bit because guys got to be on the floor at the end of the game making free throws. The way analytics are, they're fouling people on purpose and what have you. So, um, they don't have Walter Clayton out there as a closer. Boogie Flan is a very good free throw shooter. Zaven Lee's a pretty good free throw shooter. But they don't have a 90% free throw shooter like Walter was. So and in the front court again, those guys they did some free throw stuff yesterday. But again, it's really hard to simulate you know pressure free throws in the gym at practice.
Yeah,
You
there's
got
no
to
question about that.
you got to make them with a count. You know that, but they were doing some things yesterday to try to do that because they know they need to be better on that front.
Yeah, we got some people here talking about defensive play this year, saying we may not be as solid. I I don't know about that because Boogie Flan's isn't he an elite defender?
Elite, yes,
Yeah.
and he's not. I mean, it's a different defense than Elijah Martin playing with physicality. Boogie Flan is deceptively long, deceptively quick. Um, he's a incredibly fast end-to-end player. I've made the point, I think, when Calipari had John Wall, who may be the fastest player end-to-end ever. But Boogie Flan is very, very fast end-to-end. He had him last year. But he will get up in you and he will take the ball away from you. I think he was up in the top 5 in steals last year, if I'm not mistaken, maybe in the top 2 or 3 in the Southeastern Conference. But really good defender. Xavier Lee's going to be tested coming from a Ivy League into the SEC, but his athleticism will give him a chance. Obviously, then you have those guys in the front court. Ruben, good luck moving him around, right?
Yeah.
Don't underestimate. I mean, people worry about Tommy guarding the 3. I'm really not worried about Tom. He's the best conditioned athlete on the team. He's long, he's bouncy, high energy. It matters to him. And same with same with Alex Compton. The defense matters to the guys, and they know they have to play it well, and they know how much good defense means to their transition offense and getting into things on the other end.
We got a text here on the Titan Mark text line from James. Is this a one game only, or is there two games Monday night in Vegas?
Well, it's a one game shot for the Gators, but there is a second game. It's
That,
it's
yeah, I
it's
think that's what he
BYU
meant.
and Villanova, and that
Wow.
kid from BYU is supposed to be one of the top 3 picks in the NBA draft.
Who
It's
is who is the coach?
AJ.
Who's the coach at Villanova now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
It's the
the dude from Maryland, right?
no. Yes, the dude from Maryland. Yeah.
All-headed
Because
guy,
it what?
right?
Yeah. Willard.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sleptwalked through the tournament last year against the Gators because he was already like locked into that, if I recall. And it's
But
just so
we're the
he
first
was
game,
answering
right?
questions about Florida's the first game. Let me go back to that defensive question. I got to give credit to Dave Klatsky, who took over for John Andrzejczyk, who's now the head coach at Campbell. He's been really, really good picking up where they call him Crazy John went on to taking the place and getting guys where they're supposed to be, attention to detail. It's just amazing what how John changed things last year, the culture on the defensive side, because he said, "I'm not taking." When they made him the defense coordinator, he said, you're gonna have to deal with me because I need to teach it, and I need to teach it a lot." And Todd Golden gave him the freedom to do that and spend a lot of time working specifically on all the nuances and fundamentals of how they want to play defense. And the same is carried over with Dave Klatsky in his first year here. So
Uh,
I wanted to mention that.
yeah, text on the Titan Mark text line from Kevin and Archer said, we should have known we were in trouble on the football team when they had Olivier trying to block field goals. Well, they were just trying something because he's a tall human being.
I remember growing up as a Redskin fan when George Allen brought in Andre the Giant to
Did he
training camp.
really?
Yes.
That's
So he was trying
hilarious.
things. He was trying things too. Yeah.
That's
It
crazy.
didn't work.
I
It
did
didn't
not
work.
know that.
No.
All right, so correct me if I'm wrong. Were we picked to win the SEC at media days?
Pick to win the SEC. Yes.
Okay. And obviously it's going to be a bloodbath, just like in football. But uh,
hmm
we had a listener here ask who we should look out for in the SEC this year.
A lot of people. So I mean,
Everybody, right?
well, Kentucky first. I think Mark Pope has gone about things differently than Calipari. He's not just chasing all these one and dones. He's trying to build a team. Everybody talks about the elite stuff that they run. I mean, they ran circles around Florida's defense last year and made Florida make some adjustments on that end of the court. Remember, I think they scored 106 points in that game. Um, and they got guys back from that team, but they're going to be good. Arkansas is going to be good. Don't sleep on Alabama, even though they're doing a little bit of a rebuild.
What do you think about
Uh,
Auburn? How they going to be without the old man coaching?
yeah, the old man's son is taking over, and he planned that out pretty well. I mean, I don't. Does Auburn hire Stephen Pearl? I think Bruce stay there long with an understanding. Steve's got to have a chance to take over the team. Well, he leaves in September, and they automatically put him in there. They're gonna be really athletic. They're gonna play the same way. They're gonna play fast. They got shooters. Yes, they could be very, very good, but the guy's never been a head coach before. I know Todd Golden thinks the world of him. Stephen Pearl is one of his best friends from all their time together they spent. So I would definitely leave them in the mix. But it's just the Southeastern Conference. I saw I think Blue Ribbon or whoever it is. Last year they had 14 teams in the SEC tournament. I saw a projection has as many as 15 teams
Wow.
in the SEC tournament
Wow.
this year. So it's going to be the same. Cool part about this last year when you looked at the schedule going in the year, all the really what looked like the supposed marquee games were road games for Florida. They obviously had some good ones here at home, but this year they got those those 5 Saturday games. I think it's Kentucky, it's Arkansas, it's Alabama, it's Auburn, all the really what you would say is these high anticipated matchups are going to be on Saturdays in the O Dome this year of the teams that people are talking about the most in the Southeastern Conference. So that'll be really cool.
All right, before we get you out of here, this text from Larry on the Titan Tomorrow text line says, Chris, with the great basketball schedule we have this year, what game are you looking forward to the most?
Game that I'm looking forward to the most. Well,
I think that's easy.
It
That's
is.
easy.
Well, I've been there before,
I
but
know, but
it is.
going to Duke, right?
I want to see him come out of the box against Arizona, but going to Duke, I mean, it doesn't happen very often. Obviously, the last time was in 1998, December of '98, Billy's third team. I actually went to that game. Florida got drilled by 30, but it was that team. Uh, it was Udonis Haslam as a freshman, Teddy Dupay as a freshman, Mike Miller as a freshman, and you just knew this was a little bit different look team. It's funny they lost by 30. I want to say it was like 116 to 86 or something like that off the top of my head, just massacred. And then a year later, Florida beats number one overall seed Duke in the NCAA tournament at Syracuse. So that's how I remember that game. But yeah, I know the tickets are very difficult, even for high-end boosters trying to get to go see there. It does seat 9,000. It looks much smaller than that when you're there, but they still have the same situation with the students and everything. And of course, that's going to be just a monstrous game. It's funny, a lot of people thought that was going to be the national championship game, and certainly after Florida beat Auburn, a lot of us were sitting in the back of the press room with 3 minutes to go against Houston, thinking Duke and Florida were going to play for the national championship. So they'll be playing later. But God, did you see Cam Boozer tonight?
I did see his stat line.
Well, he had 12 and 15 at halftime, 15 rebounds at halftime.
How
That
tall
was
is he?
like Oscar Tshiebwe stuff, huh?
How big
He's
is he?
6'10", I think. 6'10", maybe 6'11", but
Now, is his twin there too?
Caden, yeah, his twin comes off the bench. I see Boo. I mean, my goodness gracious, that was
How close you think we
that.
were to getting those guys?
I was here last year when they were here on their trip, and it was legit. It was legit interest.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people thought they were going to go to Miami, but Boozer he's the Duke blue blood, the
Yeah.
dad, so that ended up swaying. But I'm sure Florida got a little bit of satisfaction out of winning a national championship. I know Carlos is a scout for the Jazz, I think. So he's been in the
Oh,
gym a few times,
okay.
doing some scouting for his son, presumably this summer. But I'm sure Todd talks a little bit about that too. Good to
No
come here,
doubt.
kid.
No
I
doubt.
don't know where Cameron Boozer would have played on this team with the bigs, but
Yeah.
they would have found a place for him probably.
Yeah. Chris, good stuff as always. You got anything you're writing about before the game that people
I
can
got a
look at?
story up on the website right now about Thomas Houck's switch from the 4 position to the 3. I got something coming up tomorrow about the history of Florida playing ranked teams, and then I'll look into this new backcourt making its debut, presumably. Do something over the weekend. But man, they're sending us to Vegas on Friday for 3 days. So is there
Are
anything
you
to
going
do
to the
there?
Sphere?
Huh?
You
The
gonna go
Eagles, not the football team, but the band is playing there Saturday night. But the tickets are a little out of my way.
just tell Todd
So
Golden to throw you a couple $100 so you can go.
yeah, that'll get me maybe the first 3 songs. I think we'll
Yeah.
see.
All right, man. Have a good trip. We'll talk to you when you get back.
Have fun in Jacksonville, Shane.
You're dang right. That's Chris
See you,
Harry
man.
joining us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We'll take a quick time out. Come back. We'll be joined by Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart. You're watching and listening to PodUp Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back. Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, UF Health Orthopedics. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker's Sports, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville,
Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, and MG&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. And if you want to advertise, give my man Freddie a call at 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
Coach, you know what always impressed me, how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 National Championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave, Los Landeros tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean head beer coach, 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Landeros tequila, smooth enough to drink neat, bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Landeros tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Landeros.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and coming soon to Jonesville. Let's go to the Titan MRI hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. We're joined by Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart. Good morning, Tony. How you doing, my man?
Good morning, Shane. It's all good. It's Florida Georgia week. Now you got to be impressed that I said Florida Georgia.
I was getting ready to
Florida,
say, what the hell's wrong with you? You just said Florida Georgia.
Well, you were kind enough to have me on with you, and I appreciate that. But it's it is a wild year with the coaching carousel as wild as we've ever seen it, and so there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it really is. I want to get into that and talk about you covering the league for 50 years. But first, I want to talk about this Florida-Georgia rivalry. It's a big weekend for you. I believe you're already down, headed this way, probably in Sea Island or somewhere. Just talk about, are you being a Georgia guy, some Georgia fans have always complained about why is the game in the state of Florida? And obviously next year we go to Atlanta, then the following year to Tampa, then back to Jacksonville. Are you one that wants to keep it in Jacksonville?
Absolutely. And my time goes all the way back to my being a student at Georgia and going to the Georgia-Florida game back then. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those great traditions. Now, could they make more money? Yeah, probably so. But, no, I'm very much in favor. And I've told you about my boys, my fraternity brothers who travel with me down here every single year. And it would break their heart. And I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I want to keep it in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's talk about this Georgia team. I haven't really gotten a chance to watch them because I'm calling our games, but to me, defensively, it doesn't seem like a normal Georgia defense. But I feel like Gunnar Stockton offensively is playing at a high level. Just give me your overall assessment of what you've seen from Georgia this year.
No, I totally agree. The defense is not a vintage Georgia defense, and they have to get by. And they've had to score a lot more points than they thought they would have to, but give Gunnar Stockton, the quarterback, a lot of credit. He has gotten better and better and better. And the way that Georgia has won their last two games, Shane, against Auburn, and Ole Miss. I mean, the game was on the line. Ole Miss scored on 5 of their first 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns, 5. And what Georgia did was they just wore Ole Miss down, and they scored their last 2 drives, and they got 2 stops, and they won the game. And if Georgia's gonna win, they're gonna win ugly. And we've seen that a lot going on in college football.
From a Georgia perspective, I mean, this is kind of unique. Florida's coming to this game with an interim coach. Don't really know what to expect. Obviously, the season has not gone well for the Gators, but they still have a lot of talent. Are the Georgia fans, they have any concerns in this game?
Although they haven't expressed it to me, because anybody who's been to this game more than once, and I've been 30-something times, knows that stuff happens in this game. And how, with all the bad stuff that's going on for the Gators, how sweet would it be for them to beat Georgia, hand Georgia their second loss, and really give them no margin of error for the playoffs. So I've seen this game way too many times, and too many strange things happen. So if Georgia's not ready to play, they're in trouble.
We got a text here on the Titan of our text line from George. He says, Tony, with all the craziness in college football with the coaches, do you ever see Kirby Smart leaving the University of Georgia for another job?
I really don't, unless he would want to go to the NFL, and I've never heard him express any interest in the NFL. So I mean, and they've got everything you need at Georgia. He lacks for nothing, and he's earned it. I mean, he's earned to have that, be in that situation. So no, the short answer is no. I don't see Kirby leaving particularly for another college job.
And then obviously we got a bunch of people here texting in wanting to know your thoughts on who might be the next coach at the University of Florida.
I heard that Kiffin guy was getting some attention down there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I think it's Lane Kiffin's world, and everybody else is just living in it. That they're going to make him say no to the Gators. The LSU is going to make them say no to him. He is the guy out there who checks all the boxes for what you need in a coach, and a proven winner who is a great offensive mind. That's what both of those schools want. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah, when you look at the standings in the SEC, Tony, it's crazy right now. There's so many teams that are still have a chance to be alive and go to Atlanta. We still got a lot of football to play, but at this time in the past few years before, when we had the East and the West, you kind of knew who was going to go, right? Now it's
right.
Open. As of today, who do you think are the 2 teams going to play in Atlanta?
I think at the end of the day, right now, you have to say that Texas A&M would be one of them with the way that they're playing right now, and I think the other would be Georgia or Alabama. Vanderbilt's had a great run. Vanderbilt's getting ready; their schedule's getting ready to get real here. But I think there are 3 that I would count it. UGA, Bama, and Ole Miss would be the 3, and Texas A&M. UGA, Bama, and Texas A&M would be the teams I'd put in there now.
Yeah, it would be interesting if A&M and Ole Miss went, because neither have ever been to that game. Tony, we got a text here from George, also on the Titan MR text line. He wants to know, what is your favorite Florida-Georgia game?
Oh, so many of them. So many. I wasn't at the Lindsey Scott play in 1980. I was working up in North Carolina at the time. That would certainly have to go there. I tell you what was neat was Coach Spurrier was 11-1 against Georgia as the head coach of the Gators. The one game that they lost was I think it was 2007. Jim Donnan was the coach, and at the end of that game, I saw Coach Spurrier, and he just looked at me and said, "Tony, they just beat us. Just write that. Tell them I said they just beat us." So, yeah, I think I would say that was my favorite game, because it was unexpected. I mean, Georgia had a great running back in Robert Edwards, who just absolutely had a field day in that game, and I certainly wasn't expecting it, and it happened. That was one of the really, really great ones.
Tony, you ever been to the Oklahoma-Texas game in Dallas?
Yes, several times.
I took my son back when he was in like 5th grade, because he was a big Colt McCoy guy. My buddy got us tickets, and I think it was Colt McCoy versus Sam Bradford, but I can't remember. But I thought it was awesome, but the hatred wasn't there, at least at that game, that I felt at the Florida-Georgia game. Would you agree or disagree with that?
No, I would agree with that. It's an incredible rivalry, and it's right there on the state fairgrounds, and the tickets are split. All those things are in common, but there's just so much history between Florida and Georgia. There's so much bad blood. I just think it's a great rivalry. I enjoyed the times that I went, but no, I just don't think it's the same.
Yeah, I agree. On Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, Dan says, Tony, what are your thoughts on these buyouts? Just 5 coaches so far, and it's over 150 million.
I mean, is this a great country or what? I mean, holy cow. You sit there and look at what these guys are making not to coach. And you know what? I don't feel sorry for anybody. The president of that university, the president of LSU and the athletic director of LSU nobody made them sign that deal. That was what they felt like they had to do to get the result that they wanted. And so now, is it sustainable? No. And you're not going to see those buyouts in the future, because now there's a little bit, there's this little fact that each school's got to come up with $22 million to pay the players. And that's $22 million you didn't have before. And so it is not sustainable. And so they will have to come up with contracts that are a little bit more creative.
Silverback Concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it, we stand by it. A few more minutes with Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. Joseph has a question for you, Tony. We're going to put you on the spot here. Does Tony think the LSU or Florida job is better?
Well, I would never say. I've been asked that a ton of times. I would not say one is better. They both have all the elements you need to win national championships. Florida has proven that. LSU has proven that. So the question you always have about a job is, are the elements in place? Is the commitment in place to compete for a national championship? And both of those have that. Now, the lifestyle at LSU is different than the lifestyle in Gainesville, Florida. I think we all know that. So I think they're going to have to decide what kind of lifestyle do they want.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. All right, before we let you go, this is year 50 covering college football in the Southeastern Conference. You've kind of done a little tour around the league. Are you done with that, or do you have some schools still left, Tony?
I've got a few more left, but I just finished up 2 great trips. I went to Texas A&M and went to my first ever midnight yell at Kyle Field. 35,000 people were there, students and cadets. And it's a big pep rally, but they bring the band, they bring the cannons, they bring the cheerleaders, and everybody knows what the yells are. They do the signal, and it was everything it was cracked up to be. Had a great trip to see Barry Switzer at Oklahoma. I had never spent any real time with him before, and met him at the Midway Deli, just off of campus. And so it has been a lot of fun. And so I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. I knew that going in, but I've had so much fun. We had got to meet with Coach Kirby Smart the other day. Had a good session with him, and of course, Shane, about the event that Jerry Spurrier, my wife, put on for me and Coach Spurrier. I will never forget that night. That was awesome.
It was a good one, and you're awesome, and we appreciate you taking the time. Good luck to the Dogs. Hopefully we can find a way to beat y'all. It's been a long time. But, Tony, we appreciate your time and enjoy the game.
All right, Shane. I always enjoy being with you. Take care.
Yes, sir. That's the great Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. We're going to take another quick timeout, come back, get to some of your questions, comments. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Peachland Dental is Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Go check them out at peachlanddental.com. I want to thank Chris Harry and Tony Barnhart for joining the program. Tomorrow we'll have Brent Beard and JC back on. We had to bench JC for the day to get Mr. College Football on. And Chris, this is the only time he could talk Gator hoops before the season starts. So JC got the day off. Good for him. He probably, maybe he's working out. Alpha Gator says this is on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, a lot of smoke of James Franklin going to Virginia Tech. That may be a great fit. Yeah. And then Jay Erickson says, Shane, other than Lane, who do you think is a good fit for Florida and their culture? Even if it's not a big name, for example, someone like Elko to A&M. Boy, that's a great question. Out of all the other people out there, I'm not sure. If we don't get Lane, if Lane stays at Ole Miss, I still think he's coming here. If we don't, I know this is silly, but it won't happen, but I'd hire Kerwin. You'd be in top 10 in American offense, guaranteed. But I don't see that happening. Skip says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, do you think Gonzalez will have a package? Oh, it went away. I got to pull up on my phone now and finish it all. I don't know why Facebook does that on my computer. So I have to pull it up on my phone. Sorry about that. Let's find it here so I can see if I have a good answer for Skip or not. I probably don't. Okay, where is it? Here it is. Do you think Gonzalez will have a package for Jones this Saturday, and will we see him in the game? Not sure. Let's see. Terrell's played in 1 game, so he could play in 3 more and still redshirt. I don't, probably, my guess is no. My guess is no. Brandon says on Facebook Live, Shane, what's your thoughts on the media's bias towards LSU over UF? Mullen and Kelly have identical records, but UF fires Mullen too soon. Toxic fan base, bad administration, but LSU's also toxic and has issues. Made the right choice, and it was a bad fit. Also, LSU being a more favorable landing spot for Lane and being a better job. I do not think Lane will even consider LSU. Don't think so. Again, this is all speculation, but I think he either comes to Florida or he stays at Ole Miss. Cedric says, if we hire Gruden, I'm going to become a Gamecock. I don't think there's any possible way. I've said it on this show right here. I have a better chance of being the coach than Gruden. And my name's not even in the hat. And if we hire him, I'll look like an idiot, but I don't think that's even possible. I don't know why anybody would want that. M. Pryor says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, QB, when do you think a deal may be behind the scenes to secure Lane since they are headed for the college football playoff? Well, I said this on the show the other day, just my thoughts. I believe Lane or Jimmy Sexton or whatever they will let everybody know what his plans are and for his future after the Mississippi State game when the regular season ends. There's about a 2-week window, I think, before the playoffs start. And I think that's the time. I think that's the time that I would tell my team if I was in that situation. Now, obviously, the agents know better of when to break the news, but I think that's the time you say, "Look, I'm going to stay here, or I'm going to leave, and we're still going to try to win as many games as we can and win a national title." I don't think that is a problem, personally, because in today's world, those college athletes can leave and go to another school. They could follow their coach, or they could just go somewhere else, or they could stay. It's not like back 15, 20 years ago, or even less than that, when a coach left, the kid was kind of screwed. He'd have to sit out a year. So that's just my 2 cents, whether it's right or wrong. Franklin says, Shane, is Fish a good coach in your opinion? I think he does some good stuff, but he's been at probably 35 different coaching jobs. I don't know why he's moved around so much. Nat Blaylock says Lane hasn't said he's not coming. He hasn't. I feel like he does not know what he's going to do, or he would have signed an extension with Ole Miss. JB Wilson says prime time. Again, I have a better chance of being the coach. They're bad. That's a bad football team in Colorado. Norris says here, Shane, you're the only one. Love Lane. You the reason his name is mentioned every day. Enough with Lane. He don't belong here. The disrespect for Gonzalez. There's no disrespect for Billy Gonzalez, but he's not going to be the coach. You're completely off base. I like Coach Gonzalez. He's been here a long time in under three different head coaches. And I hope he does a phenomenal job. He's in a great situation. There's no pressure. No pressure at all. That's going to do it for today. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.